We are live. We are live. I've replaced Carol today. I brought Alex.
Yay!
Alex.
Hello, hello, hello.
We haven't seen each other since April in the room in Manchester. That was
Yeah,
the last time we had squidges.
yeah, I know. And I told you about like this little baby that didn't really exist, and now it's basically live. So this is my book.
Look at that. Just take it back for us. The fully booked roadmap to 10K months.
Yeah.
I love it. And that's what I want to talk about today, right? Because so Alex and I are friends. And we've worked together and we've played together and we did all these things. We're doing momhood together with little ones. And I mean, Alex's story, it just in itself, you have to tell everyone just a little bit about your backstory because it's incredible. But the main reason we wanted to jump on today was because the book is out. It's in the world. It has been birthed. And it's going to help so many people, but it's because it's something that so many people struggle with in a mindset and like, am I good enough? Can I really film my programs? Can I really be an entrepreneur? Should I go back to my day job? Especially like we're streaming on LinkedIn as well. So
Yeah.
before we do all of that, would you just give people just like a little snippet? Because your story is like a whole book in itself. I love you so much. But just tell people just a bit about you and what you're an expert in as well.
Yeah, no probs. So my name is Aleks Certa. You can find me anywhere. It's like spelled weirdly, ALEKSCERTA. Basically, I came to the UK 20 years ago this month with 100 quid in my pocket. I spoke some English, but not enough to go to uni, to do anything with myself. And I basically decided I'm going to make something of me. And this is kind of like a story that just keeps just playing, you know. So I ended up going to uni a year later, and I did a subject of humanities that required a lot of writing and a lot of English. And then I discovered something called advertising. So I thought, do you know what? Let me just get myself a job in advertising. And I was unsuccessful. So in essence, I sent something like 102 CVs, and I basically got rejection of every single one of them. So I was like, okay, so what's like my way in? So I basically got a number to a marketing director of this media agency, and I literally harassed him every single week to come and give me work experience. And after something like 4 months, he's like, okay, Alex, just come and do work experience. So it turned out I was basically all right at it, and they offered me a job at the end of the work experience, and I stayed with that company for 10 years. But along the journey, my daughter happens, and she has a very rare genetic condition, and that meant like loads of hospital, loads of just surgeries and different specialisms, and it was a lot basically. And I was like, right, I just need like another way of making it work. So I've decided to set up my own consultancy. And in all honesty, for the first 2 years, I wouldn't call it a business. I would call it like going back to student life, because just I wasn't treating myself like a business. I was almost like, oh, this is little me. Like, I'll do anything. But you know,
You tell people that though. Like I love that you tell people that. Like we say to people, like we made fuck all in the first year because you see too much of like, oh, I started my business, I made 6 figures the first 3 months. It's like it's not like that for every person. And for the most of us, we're like finding our feet. We don't know about entrepreneurial world. We haven't got connections. We don't know the systems. And we're really open about that. And you're always open about it too, aren't you?
I am, yeah, 100%. Because and I talk about this in the book, by the way. But like for me, like my background is basically media planning, buying. But what I was used to was like big budgets, TV. Like there was no limit, pretty much.
Yeah.
And obviously I couldn't do that when it was just me. So I was like, okay, so what's the medium I can take and apply my knowledge? And that was in essence Facebook ads. So that's what I've decided to basically hone in on and specialize in. Yeah, that first year I've made 18K, and I spent 16 of that on different courses, different mentors. You're kind of in the space of, right, I really need to up level, because, you know, like after 10 years at media agency, you got to the stage where you've got a team and you're not necessarily the doer.
Yeah.
And I had to become the doer again.
Of everything. When you
Of
start your
everything.
business, you're head of socials, you're head of finance, you're head of systems, you're head of problem solving, like all the things.
Yeah, but like the biggest thing I found, and that's something, you know, I help clients with, is how do I get clients? In essence, that's the main problem that people come to me for.
Yeah.
And you know, like Facebook ads is just a tool. It's like a lead generation tool, and there are different tools in your arsenal. But like this is like somewhere like obviously you and Cheryl and I work together because that's what you hired us for. Like,
That was
'cause we
how
want,
I can't even remember who first told me about you. I think it was it was someone in a mastermind, wasn't it? So I was in a mastermind and they told me about you, and then that's how we hooked up. And you were running like huge campaigns for online businesses, weren't you? Like mega, mega, mega. We felt like a teeny tiny fish when we came. You were like, help us make this like the biggest challenge we've ever done. And you, like, it was insane. Oh, we're getting like thumbs and things. Like it was insane. Got like thousands of people come into our world because of you knowing how to do what you do.
Yeah, exactly. Because like this is the thing with ads, right? Like, I wouldn't say you were the smallest client. I would say you had like a modest budget. Like obviously it wasn't like 100K a month type of a budget, but you had the modest budget, and you were like, okay, so how do we maximize it? And of course we're looking at the quickest return on investment. But like sometimes how does that look like is, okay, someone enters your world and that's like immediate lead, but then that someone becomes a client a year later. Sometimes this is how that looks like, where actually this is when Facebook ads work for you long term because you're constantly bringing that stream of leads. So in essence, like that's that. Like how do I get clients? How do I get leads? Is basically what the book is about. So like I shared
so much more than that, though, isn't it? Like it's just so rich because there's so much storytelling and real examples, and it's like you in the book.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, basically. So but I do share the strategies, like both organic and paid. Like me in my year 1, year 2, year 3, I didn't have the money to invest, even though I knew how to do my ads. I didn't have like anything to put back into the business. So obviously, like your choice is like, let's go organically, right? And you know, like I wanted to ask you actually, like, what do you see the biggest challenge is from people who say they want to be fully booked, who say they want to have, you know, like 10, 20, 30K months, but what is it that is challenging them on the way the most?
It's such a good question. Literally, Cheryl and I were plotting something the day and we were asking this question. And a lot of it is that I want it, but I'm scared to invest in the right things that will help me get there. So I see, and it pains me, like so much time being wasted and people spending money on the things that won't get them there. But because of actually really clever marketing, sometimes they think it will.
Yeah.
So I see people spending a lot of money on like learning certain funnels and stuff, but actually they might not have built audience or trust yet, or really been clear, like, or spoken for more than like a nanosecond about the thing that they want to be known for in the market. And they're told, well, you just set up a coaching business and do some ads, and then you'll get these clients, and they'll just like, well, like I see people saying, right, this is what I want to do, and I want to be known for this, and I want to launch a group program, and like hand on heart, I'm like, it's just not that easy. And I get that you sold the dream, and God, I'm the limitless girl, right? Like I believe anything is possible. And you also have to create, and it doesn't have to take years, but you do have to create that know, like, and trust, and create people who are ready and want to buy that product from you, right? So I see them, and then the things that I know that will help them, like doing the mindset work and getting clarity and all that, they've spent all the money on all this other shit that won't help them. And then I see them burning through loads of money there and here and there, and they're like, all right, like, no, but now can you help me? And it's really painful because they haven't got themselves into that identity level self that is successful yet and believes in themselves, but they're trying to sell it to other people. And then in that disconnect straight away, we just know that they're going to waste time.
Yeah. But I also think you've been in this industry a while. I've been in this industry a while, and I obviously we've seen it change.
Yeah.
but ultimately what I want to say is people always have this it's like extra radar for bullshit, right? Where in essence, yes, like sometimes it takes you a little bit to clock it, but if you really listen to yourself,
Yeah.
like you know what's right.
Yeah.
So like ultimately, like
Yeah.
bring it back to that question, like it does come to that trust, right? Before you like even make the steps to becoming fully booked.
100%. Trusting yourself and
Yeah.
being really clear on what it is. And probably the same as you, we see a lot of people sort of trying to sell something. How am I trying to say it? You know, and someone's like trying to sell the thing, but I'm like, but what do I get when I've got the thing? Do you know what I mean? Like, what does the thing give me? And just
Yeah.
really like selling them, and it's from the imposter syndrome, right? Is it's like they hate selling, but what I then see them doing is like selling themselves and trying to convince people rather than really just getting in that person's world and going like, well, what does the person really want? Like, because that's why you started in the first place. But then we almost then put the business head on and try to sell something, and it just loses the heart. Like the people who are really great at what they do and are really authentic and passionate, like you can tell they love what they do, and like you're really powerful with this, aren't you? Like when we work with you, like you are so really good and strong about helping people bring their voice forward and their uniqueness and not trying to copy what she did over here or what he did over there. Or it's like, that's great and that's great, but let's look at what you can do. Like you're not a cookie cutter girl. Like you'll give people these frameworks and these tools, but you always get that the you that is you is the most valuable thing in the business.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. And like, and this is the thing, like very often I get entrepreneur or like, brand owner, and it's like, but I don't want to show my face,
Mm.
and it's like, well, you don't have to. There are other strategies out there. And even like very recently, I got like a fairly new client, and we've tried a video, but he was just not great. Like he would not mind me saying so, but he could see like suddenly like he was basically freezing. So someone said to me, so he was basically doing a Chandler.
I was gonna say like Chandler or Friends.
Yeah, like Chandler and Friends. Yeah, so it just it would not work because it wasn't authentic. So it's like, okay, so what can we do? Are you happy to use your voice? And he was like, well, yeah. So we did basically voiceover ads.
I love that. Yeah.
So you have to think creatively, and it's also my point. Like even if you just want to stay you in your business, you like ultimately like you work with people, so you want to get clients, right? What do you say to people when they say to you, 10K seems impossible for me? It's not possible for people like me. I want it, but I don't see myself.
And that's, I was just going to say to you that because I love that you chose the 10K for the book, because it is one of like these unicorn months. It's almost like everyone thinks that when they get in 10K months, that's it, they've made it, isn't it? Like it is a really important milestone, and when you get to it, you're like, yay! And again, it's interesting and kind of answering the question and answering the question with a question, because I see a lot of people come and say, when I say to them, what do you want? Like, I want a 6-figure business and 10K months. Like, that's the standard.
Yeah.
And I'll say, do you believe that's possible? And they're like, no, I've never made that much money before. Isn't it interesting? I'm like, that's again, that might be an issue because we can't create something that we don't believe in.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, how do you, like, because you know it's possible, I know it's possible. I love it when people do it. They go, right, I had a 10K month. And then the funny thing is, it's a bit like the 1 minute mile, then they have a 10K day. And you're like, that's how it works. It's like popping cherries and start popping all over the, hi, Aggie. That's Aggie's like, that's me. I want 10K month, I want 10K month. And you've got to be able to imagine it, haven't you? So how does your book and what you're teaching them in there help them get them into that belief and the practical aspects of how that actually happens, Aleks?
Yeah, I think you're gonna love this because I actually talk them through how do you set intention for yourself. So like this is basically like, it's almost like book is like divided into like 3 sections, which is in essence like what I always teach. And like section number 1 is mindset. I don't go as much in depth as, for example, in the stuff that you teach, but I do give the framework in how I set the intention, and I teach them how you set the intention for you.
Yeah.
So you believe it's possible for you, because it has to start with that. And then the section number 2 is basically the practicality and the lead generation and all and I give them like 4 different strategies, and 3 of them cost them time, and there's one strategy that costs them both, because it's in essence using lead gen at scale, which is ads. And then the section number 3 is all about selling. So, hey Yvette, hello. But you know, like it has to start with the foundation piece. You have to set yourself a goal that you can fully get behind.
Energetically, yeah, and not just think it, like really feel it.
Yeah. And I talked to them, like, so I first started this process. I've started this process, I'll tell you exactly. So it was 29th of December, 2019. And I basically took Anya for a routine appointment that she had once a year with the spinal surgeon. And I said to Arnie, said to my husband, right, you can just stay at home because, you know, like it's just going to be routine and it's always the same. So like just sleep, because he used to work nights then. And anyway, I took her with me, and then basically the consultant goes, oh, her curve just went from manageable to really bad, and we're going to have to operate ASAP. And I was like, thinking at the back of my head, I hear you, but like my business is not set up like this. Like I have to really like have a word with myself. So anyway, like we talked about the practicality, and then he was like, right, like off you go, and you know she's going to have a surgery in a few months' time. I was like, okay, this is really scary, but okay, let's go to this art gallery. And I remember sitting, looking at this beautiful painting and being like, okay, so the only choice for me is to have a team, because there's no way I would say to, hello, Donna client, I know we have this campaign, but I have to take time off and it's going to be a month, so I'm just going to drop everything, all right? You'd be like, that's not happening. That's my business. So I knew I basically had to get people as part of my my core team that would basically take care of clients when I, you know, had to take care of my daughter. But in order for me to employ anybody or to hire a freelance staff or anything like that, I have to have a financial stability, and there's no getting away from that fact. And you know, at the time I was making like 1,750. I still remember that. Had 2 clients. But that moment, 29th of December, that was like my line in the sand. Like I am making it work. And I set myself a goal of basically making it to 10K. And for me at the time, that looked like 10 clients at 1K each. And you know, like this is it. Like I didn't give myself, right, you should do by the 29th of April or otherwise whatever. It's like it wasn't like that at all. It was more, okay, let's just see and let's test it. Like we always say in marketing, let's test it. And but that's what I did. And guess what? Even though at the back of my head I gave myself the challenge for all of 2020, I was basically making 11K in April of that year. So it only took me 3 months.
But you know, like, so from a spiritual perspective, my answer is always when I hear that, that's because like it's the law of supply and demand, right? It's the universal law, the universal law of supply. So the supply was always there. The 11K was always possible. You hadn't created the demand. Once you upped your ante and you're like, no, it's not negotiable now. It has to happen. The universe just says yes. And whether you change your products or your pricing or your strategy or your package, whatever, it's like it was always inevitably going to happen because you decided that decision in you cut off the potential and the possibility to only have 1,750 a month and not be able to be there for Anya.
Yeah, exactly. That was 100% because it wasn't about me. So like in the book, I basically give them a framework where they can go and like, I don't have a sick child. So how do I like get full bodied? Yes, that I create this for myself. So I give them a bit of a framework and I talk them through like how do you basically do it for you where you can get aligned with your goal, because it starts with that foundation level alignment where you believe yourself when you say this is what I'm going to do.
I love it. It's already done. And that's why I love the play on the words like fully booked, because it's like fully embodied booked. Do you know what I mean? It's like it's embodied before it's seen. It's, you know it. Let me hold the book up again because Aggie's asking which book it is. So just hold the book up. It's called The Fully Booked. It is so cool. You can get it on Amazon. We'll put the links on and stuff, right, Aleks? Afterwards, we'll
Yeah,
go.
we'll put the link. But if you just search for like my name, so
Yeah.
Aleks Certa, you basically Agata. I'm guessing you are Polish as well, so cześć if you are. But like basically, if you just type in Aleks Certa, like it will come up on Amazon. So
But you
yeah,
can get, there are links, isn't there? If they get you through your unique link, there's
yeah.
bonuses available. So maybe we should put those on for people as well, Aleks.
Yeah, so basically if you get it like through my link, which is basically what I'll absolutely put on there when we finish,
Yeah.
then the bonus number one is you get my script for lead generation, which is organically done, where you basically slide into someone's DM. I don't do it in the icky way. It's not like,
No.
hi, I'm so and so, do you want to buy? No, it's none of that.
I'm really curious. How long have you been a coach?
Yeah, so no, it's like more in depth. So I developed them, I tested them, and they're completely adaptable no matter the niche that you are in.
Love that.
And I include my meditation. So this is like my first grant. Oh, you're from Slovakia. Oh, amazing.
Aggie is lush. You'll really get on with Aggie.
Yeah, like this I must say there's something with like meeting Eastern Europeans in the UK, like we always get on. I think there is like this commonality of, I don't know, childhood or blood or whatever. But yeah, we just do. So yeah, nice to meet you.
Is it on Audible yet, Aleks?
No, it will be next month though. So like whoever orders the copy, I'm basically granting Audible for free. So
that's amazing. Oh.
So yeah, this is it. Like it's honestly been like 4 years in the making. So going back to that story, like Anya going through her first ever surgery, that was like a massive 9-hour procedure, and I was just sat there like just me and her alone in a ward because we had COVID at the time, and like even like not even her dad was allowed in the room. So it was literally just me and her for that week post operation, and she was recovering really well, and she was just dozing, and I had this like premonition, call it, and it's like I've got to write a book. I've just got to do it. And I remember like, do you know Tilly? And like Tilly is the only writer, like real writer that I know. I knew at the time. So anyway, I've messaged her. I was like, I had this crazy idea. Is this totally crazy? Because like you know, it's my second language and all of that. Like, how am I gonna do it? And she's like, absolutely no. So anyway, it took me 4 years to like realize the dream, and things happened along the way. But do you know what? Like going back, and I know you really like believe in it. Like things happen for a reason. Like my depth of knowledge and experience just increased during those 4 years. So if I wrote a book back in 2020, it wouldn't be as thorough as it is now. So even though it's thorough, it looks super thin. So basically you can like my camera is like,
it's because it's backwards on StreamYard. Go the other way.
Oh, I can't even. Oh yeah. So it's basically it's not like that. It's not like a War and Peace. It's very digestible, and it's like super actionable as well. So,
but you're like a really like, you know, we are like really deeply spiritual, deeply emotional, deeply feeling, and deeply fucking practical girls. Do you know what I mean? So that's why we love working with you, because you just get shit done. But you really, I remember like coming at you like a whirlwind the first time, going, well, we want this and want to be, and you were like, right, okay, like, what do you really want? And you really had me drop down into my heart space to really deeply think about what was I doing and why was I doing it, not just to like wrap up more people in the, and it, I was like, right, thank you. It made me stop and think and get still. And then to even have like 1% of the wealth of knowledge that you've brought to us about building community and bringing people into our world and taking people on that journey, that, like, I know there's more than that, but even to have like 1% of what you've got is worth buying the book for. And I know there's so much more than that in there.
Yeah.
And you know, the 10K months are not a mystical thing. Lots of people in our world are doing the 10K months now with fair ease.
Yeah.
And you can too. Like, I promise you, if you take on board what Aleks is saying in the book, there's no reason why you can't Just don't skip the embody bit. Don't skip the first bit. Don't skip the bit and go, just how do I do it? What's the strategies? Because that's the masculine, isn't it? It's like you've really got to do that feminine integrate and that belief that it's possible for you before you skip to that bit.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. And you know, like this is also like what you teach, and that's like the depth of your knowledge and what you bring to the table. So I love that. I absolutely love that.
Cheryl's just saying, when you look into my eyes, you look into my soul. We say this all the time. Like when we first met, you're like, she can see right through you. She can see you. And like now that we know that you're a reflector in human design, so Aleks and I are both human design reflectors. So we're both like a 1 in a million something, and you've got both of us together, which is very rare. So we were saying before we went live, there's a planet imploding somewhere. The two reflectors are on here together talking about this stuff. So, but you just like, but I think that's because you just really see people.
Yeah. And it's like, and very often, like, you know, like the shitty things happen because there's something that you've got to learn to teach the others, you know. And it's also the point, like yes, it is really tough to support my daughter going through surgeries every 6 months. However, like without it, I wouldn't be where I am, and I wouldn't have the business I have.
Yeah.
Because everything that I've built is built to support us and to support her ultimately. So yeah, there is you know, that other level of depth. However, just to bring it back to earth for a second, she did tell me the other day she wants to be a kept woman. So.
That's our girl. You raise a unicorn, this is what you get. Like, we're not built for work. Oh my God. But listen, guys, you've got to go out. Hold the book up again for me, Aleks. You've got to go and get Alex's book. We are going to put the link for Alex's so you get the bonuses as well in here. I know you've have to say it's so fab to work with someone like this. And if you get to work with Aleks in another capacity, make sure you hook up with her. Make sure you find her on Instagram. She's on LinkedIn as well. So it happens to evolve our souls too. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, beautiful, Cheryl. Beautiful.
Thank you for coming and sharing your unicorn magic with us today. It's been a joy. The fully booked, honestly, you need this on your bookshelf. You need it in your life. And when you follow the principles that Aleks lays out for you, it's just inevitable. It is done, done, done. So we're going to stay and hang out a little bit and chat. We're going to say goodbye to you.
Thank you. Bye.
Wonderful day. We'll see you soon. Bye, guys.
See you soon. Bye.